Right, hello and happy Monday. It is digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you all back to Before the Four, where I take you through 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 p.m. newscast. Last night, the Paris Summer Olympics officially wrapped up, so that means our 4 p.m. show will again air on TV as normal. So we are all back to normal, but anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in to today's Before the Four, which will be a bit shorter today. But thanks for watching and spending a little of your Monday afternoon with me. But with all that said, I say it is now time we jump in to today's top stories. And of course, starting things off in Tuscumbia, where 48's Aria Pons is today, Aria will be bringing you all the story on an altercation that occurred at a party last night. Authorities say a 17-year-old boy is recovering from the situation near Willie Green Center on Trenholm Memorial Drive. Officials say the incident happened around 7:20 last night. The 17-year-old is expected to make a full recovery. Aria has been in Tuscumbia all day working to learn more about this situation. So make sure you all stick around for our evening newscast for the latest on this situation from Aria coming up at 4. And now in Huntsville, where a man is facing more than a dozen possession of child porn charges. Authorities say Dalton Freeman, who you're currently seeing on screen right now, was arrested after police executed a search warrant at his home today. Investigators say after the search, they discovered devices with child pornography on them belonging to Freeman. He is currently charged with 15 counts of possession of child porn. He was booked into the Madison County Jail on a $150,000 bond. And now, in case you missed it, some big changes are coming to the ACT test. Test officials announced this summer that changes include a shorter test as well as making the science portion optional. ACT officials say the changes come as a way to help modernize the test as well as ensure that scores accurately reflect college readiness. The new test will also last 2 hours, and both reading and English will have 44 fewer questions than in years prior. 48's Claudia Peppenhorst recently spoke with Ashley Grove with the learning team, and let's take a listen to what she had to say.
The test actually, as far as the concepts that are going to be tested on, it has not changed significantly at all. What has changed is, what sounds wonderful, which is that science is going to be optional. Honestly, I'm not changing my prep very much.
Thank yous and hugs and
the test actually, as far as the concept.
Let me get that for y'all. Sorry about that, but another story you may have missed, the community compassion. It was on full display Saturday as a local group of friends assisted a group of elderly residents after a major pipe burst. 48's Daquan Lee has the latest.
thank yous and hugs and kisses on the cheek.
There was plenty of love to go around Saturday as Michelle Shaw and a group of her childhood friends decided to help the elderly residents of Gateway Place Apartments through a tough time. More than 80 of them were displaced when a water main pipe burst. Shaw says apartment management has been paying for them to stay in hotels, and overall, she says they've actually done a good job of dealing with this problem. But she knows these residents need extra assistance.
It's just showing compassion because we see less and less of that each day. And so I think that if we come together and show compassion, it's contagious.
Shaw arranged to have hot meals prepared for them for lunch and dinner for every resident. She says many are on fixed incomes, need medication, or can't cook for themselves in a hotel room. She even described one elderly couple who were blind but still were able to come out and eat.
It was very rewarding. They could not see what they were going to eat. But the gentleman took his bag and put it to his nose and said, "I can't wait to eat this."
Lucy Shaw is one of the residents who were displaced and has known Shaw for years. She says some of her fellow tenants lost nearly everything because of the burst pipe, but the meals they were given were able to lighten the mood.
They was glad. They they was happy, and they said, "Oh, it tastes so good." Lucy, I said, "Well, I didn't cook it, and we just laughed, but they was happy to get it because you have to take what little you do have and go out and pick, try to get you something to try to eat.
Well, thank you, Daquan. Now in Marshall County, where crews are still working to clean up from a microburst that went through the area on August 2nd. Service crews on Snug Harbor Road near Grant have removed all the trees that were a safety hazard following the microburst, but said it was still going to take some time for them to clear out the rest of the debris. The microburst had winds of 95 miles an hour and caused quite a bit of tree and roof damage near Highway 431 and along White Elephant Road. Tyler Black, the owner of Black Tree Services, is helping to clean the debris. Black said he was surprised by how much damage the microburst caused.
First damage was up and around Snug Harbor, where you had all the houses on the lake lots on the side of this mountain, and you couldn't get any equipment or anything around to the backyards to pick anything up and get out. But we've cut anything from that big around to as big around as multiple people could reach around.
Thank you. Now back to Huntsville. The Rock Worship Center plans to open a new K-12 private school called Kingdom Heights in the former S.R. Butler High School building. The church is currently raising money to remodel Butler. According to the church, they believe it will require over $4 million to renovate the new space. The space is expected to feature state-of-the-art classrooms, STEM labs, and music and art studios, all furnished with modern tables, chairs, teaching stations, wallboards, and digital interactive displays. The project will also upgrade athletic facilities and playgrounds. According to the new school's website, leaders hope to have the new school opened by 2025. Now finally, in Franklin County, a man will spend the next 2 decades in prison after pleading guilty to killing a man back in 2022. According to court documents posted Thursday, Tyler Garrison, who you see on screen, pleaded guilty to manslaughter. He was originally charged with murder but accepted a plea deal with prosecutors. Franklin County District Attorney Jeff Barksdale said the plea offer was only extended after he spoke with the victim's family. According to Russellville Police, officers responded to a report of a stabbing on Cotico Street at about 10:30 p.m. on June 4th. This was back in 2022. The officer found Richard Anthony Davis unresponsive on the ground. Witnesses told police a verbal argument led to the stabbing and said Garrison was the one who did it. He was taken into custody about a day later. Now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss in tonight's newscast. The latest on the current protests indicator. 48's Matthew King has been in Decatur all day today, and get the latest on this situation coming up at 4. Another story you're just not going to want to miss, the neighborhood zoning situation happening in Scottsboro. 48 Savannah Sapp with the latest in tonight's newscast. And finally, an awesome story about upcoming cleanup projects happening in the Shoals this weekend. These are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss in tonight's newscast. Finally, you all watching right now, you know what time it is. If you're new to Before the 4, just hang on 1 second and I will explain everything. But it is time for Facebook Fun. If you don't know what Facebook Fun is, this is how we like to end Before the 4 each and every day. Usually sometime midday, we will ask a question on our 48 Facebook page. And you all typically have very, very awesome answers. So today's question was, what's your favorite book that became a movie? There's just so many for me. It's hard for me to pick one. The first one I thought of was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because that is just one of my favorite books of all time. But let's see what you all had to say. Michelle said Gone with the Wind, an instant classic. Gone with the Wind I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but it is obviously a classic. Michelle, great choice. Thank you for commenting. Linda said, Where the Red Fern Grows. That is such a tragic book. If anyone is watching right now, if you've read this book, it is 100% a tearjerker. Linda, amazing choice. Edith said The Lord of the Rings. Of course, you cannot go wrong with The Lord of the Rings. That is just a legendary one. I need to rewatch all of those, and maybe I haven't read the books. Maybe it will be a good idea for me to actually read the books this go around instead of watching. But Edith, thank you so much for commenting. Maggie Rydell, I believe it's Maggie Riddle, said Harry Potter, and 100%. Maggie, amazing choice. Harry Potter is legendary. Those books are a little bit thick for me to read, I will have to say. So I've seen the 4th through 7th. I've seen all those movies. I have not read those books, but I did read the first 3. But Maggie, thank you for commenting. That is it for today's Before the 4. I want to thank you all for sticking around with me and spending a little bit of your Monday afternoon with me. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 Digital app, the 48 First Alert Weather app, and of course, the 48 Sport Zone app. Turn on those push notifications and never miss a breaking story. But with that said, I want to, of course, thank you for watching. You all have a great night.